on, we have Edge returning to SmackDown, which was awesome. Him coming back, of course, at Madison Square Garden. On the Grayson Waller Effect, which I thought was pretty cool. He stood in front of John Cena at Money in the Bank. Now he's with Edge. He's rubbing off against Hall of Famers. And Edge goes in there, just goes over his moments in his career and stuff like that and talks about how great it is and where he's at. And Grayson Waller kind of cuts him off and says, hey, why don't you just admit it? And Edge is like, what the hell are you talking about? And Grayson Waller's like, you're retiring. And basically playing up that angle, like, you're retiring. You came on my show to big up my show, to make that announcement, you're retiring. And Edge is like, no, I'm not retiring. I want to have a match. And it ended up being against Grayson Waller, which I thought was a great match. And we finally got Grayson Waller's first match. And those guys going back and forth, Edge still hanging in the ring. Grayson Waller hanging with a Hall of Famer like that. Edge ended up picking up the victory. What do you guys think about that? Edge and Grayson Waller getting that rub at the end there, of Edge saying he's good in the ring.
Was it a clean finish?
Yeah. Edge beat him clean. Well, I'll say this much: Grayson Waller is on his way. I mean, from John Cena to being in a segment with Edge, obviously the people backstage they have high hopes for Grayson Waller, and then I mean his promo. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, his promo work was always great in NXT. He's a great heel character. I'm glad somebody, because I think initially when he debuted, he was a babyface, and then somebody heard his accent and realized like, yeah, this guy is a natural heel. And ever since, I mean, he was a highlight on NXT for a little bit.
Yeah, he was.
With some of the feud with AJ too. Gargano.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was a highlight. So obviously they see great things in him. It was a great match. I mean, I love the fact that after the match, Edge grabbed the mic and pretty much told him it was sink or swim, and you swam, pretty much giving him the rub right there. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do moving forward with Grayson Waller. I mean, you do definitely got to get him in the match for SummerSlam. I don't know if this continue. I don't know if this feud would continue per se. I mean, I don't know what John Cena has booked on SummerSlam weekend, but I mean, if they wanted to go back to that and give Grayson Waller a match, cool. But then the negativity of that is, well, he had Austin Theory at WrestleMania and he lost. And so you can't really beat Grayson Waller. So now John Cena loses again. And it's just like, how many times can a part-time, or I don't even know if you can call John Cena part-time, maybe like a once or twice a year guy. How many times can he lose before you really start taking? How many times can he lose though before you start looking at him and saying like,
maybe it's a sign
beating John Cena right now is not impressive because any one of us can do it now. So it's it'll be very interesting going forward. As far as Edge goes, I'm literally just counting down to whenever they're in Toronto again, and he says that's it. Nothing against Edge per se. Obviously, I've always been a huge fan of his. The multiple championships won, being in tag team ladder matches, TLC, and all that stuff. I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, what else can they really do with Edge now at this point, especially with the way that the rosters are set up and such. I mean, who on SmackDown could he really have like a long feud with? And I think that long feud could be with Roman. I don't want to see Edge and Roman, man. We already got that. We got that during the pandemic and the Thunder.
That doesn't count. That's a blur. That was the blip.
The Men in Black.
We erased that out of our memories.
Yeah. But it's just like, other than that, I just don't think like what else can you really do with Edge outside of Roman. But I
mean,
as far as Grayson Waller goes,
they haven't announced any, like, I don't know. I thought SummerSlam was in Toronto. I was completely wrong about that.
Chicago. No,
Detroit. Michigan. Yeah, that's the only way I think of it. If they announce a pay-per-view for Toronto at any point soon, that's pretty much going to be the title match, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if they go anywhere in Toronto, like, Edge is going to face Roman for the title. He's going to lose. He's going to retire in Toronto, and that's going to be it. Like that's what I think they're waiting for to do. They can build that up. Like Edge is like, hey, maybe I got one last run left in me, and then Roman's like, hey, put your career on the line. And I think that's the way they kind of send Edge on the swan song and get him out of there. Because I feel like Edge would have won the title at some point if it wasn't for the injuries and stuff like that. Like, if he didn't have those crazy injuries and stuff like that, he probably would have won a championship by the time he returned. Like, that was
injuries, though? If they do that, if they do title versus career in Toronto,
they got to do that. They got to do that.
Like that's got to be with Edge and Roman at this point. That's like the only thing that they would be able to do.
And it just adds to the Tribal Chiefs GOAT resume.
I'm an Edge guy, and I think for me it was like when he came back, he was just so shredded, and the pop was so huge. Like, I literally remember watching that Rumble, and I was like, you think you know? And I was like, I went fucking nuts. Like in my house, I went crazy. And like, yeah, he had his a couple injuries. I don't know.
You want to know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's the haircut. He cut his hair. He cut his hair.
No.
He cut his hair. That's what it is. He cut his hair, man.
If
he had the long hair,
I think with the work he put in to come back after so long, and the body that he brought back, they could have given him the title at any moment. And I'm not saying he's gonna have a lengthy run. You could have gave him like 2-3 title defenses, and then he could have, if that was how they went about it, he then could be like, hey, I got my last run ever. And I think it would have still been believable, but I don't know. I just think he deserves a title run with these new belts. And then, like I said, no, I know. I don't see it happening. But it also depends. It also depends on how much longer he's going to keep going. If this is like his last Mania, then it is what it is. But I feel like he put in so much work to come back looking better than more shredded than he did in the past. And I was like, he definitely could have had a title run and would have been easily believable.
Yeah, he was supposed to have one at some point. No question. But just looking at it, it's like August we have SummerSlam, September is Payback, October is Fastlane apparently in Indiana. Crown Jewel is in November 4th, and then Survivor Series is November 25th. So I'm circling December. They haven't. December is whatever. Just go to Toronto, have that pay-per-view in Toronto, give Edge his swan song.
Wait, which one's in Toronto?
No, I'm just saying in December. I'm marking. They haven't announced anything for December or anything like that. So I'm like, just circle it for December and let's see, man.
I feel like they were recently in Toronto. I don't think they would circle back so quick just to give Edge his like goodbye. They were They were in Canada like last month, weren't they?
No, that was for Elimination Chamber. They were in Montreal.
Yeah,
it was Elimination. It wasn't
Elimination. Because it was Sami Zayn homecoming. You remember?
But they didn't have Elimination Chamber, did they?
Yeah, they did. That's where Sammy got beat.
Yeah.
Remember he faced Finn? He faced Finn and Rhea.
But who was in the Elimination Chamber?
Fuck, I don't remember now.
I don't remember an Elimination Chamber. Or was that before WrestleMania? Was that before WrestleMania?
Yes, we made picks on it and everything.
I know, but yeah, we did. I'm trying to think. Hold on.
I can't remember who won. Hold on.
Was it that insignificant?
I can't remember. Hold on.
I don't even remember who was.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Austin Theory won the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, because it was for the U.S. title. That's that's why nobody remembers it, because it wasn't for anything important.
We can't remember.
Sorry, Austin Theory, it's not you.
Yo, this is what I'm saying. You can't make Elimination Chamber for a mid-card title. If it was an IC, I get it, but the US title, come on.
Yeah, but but at the same time, they were trying to build up the US title.
I know there was too much going on, but still, don't ever.
And then the Elimination Chamber is usually for fucking number one contendership for whatever title,
or even win the title.
Yeah. So it's like
that's why it's not smart to put it right before WrestleMania. It makes no sense. No sense. Save it for like New Year's or end of the year.
I don't have a problem with Elimination Chamber if they book it right, last ditch effort for a guy to go after a title or something like that, something. But nah.
I mean, I'm one of the belief that after the Royal Rumble, there shouldn't be any live events or any pay-per-views until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, when all those years when you had the Chamber, you had Fastlane, and you had those shows, and next thing you know, WrestleMania is in like a month and a half, and it's just like, really? And that's when they started like fast tracking a lot of feuds for WrestleMania, and it's just like, nah, your feud should be starting after the Rumble. That way you have all that time
straight up from Romania. I mean, from Rumble.
They used to do it right. December, they used to start booking for WrestleMania. Like you can see them booking for WrestleMania, whatever the case may be. Rumble is where you get your title match. You know who's facing who, and then you just build towards that. And I don't mind if you have a mini pay-per-view there to like maybe carry the feud or kind of be like a 6-man tag like they usually do or anything like that, like where you have the good guy and the bad guy that actually interact a little bit. But to do it like that, I'm like, yeah, I agree with Brian. They got to stop doing that.
You can't have something big like an Elimination Chamber right beforehand and be like, oh yeah, this is the person still champ or whatever. It could be like, add this person to the title match or something. I don't know. It should be something like that. It shouldn't be like, oh, here's a chance to get the title. Obviously, we know they're not going to get the title. It's just like, it just makes it. But it's funny when you were naming off the pay-per-views, I'm already like, Payback, Fastlane. Now, mind you, the pay-per-views have been great, but I think some of those pay-per-views have left a sour taste in my mouth where it's like,
Fastlane.
I'm like, where's Unforgiven? Where's Bad? Where's Armageddon? Give me those pay-per-views. Like,
bring back Taboo Tuesday.
Those pay-per-view names are too vicious in nature. The pay-per-view names are too vicious in nature now.
Damn, give me a Sunday Night Heat.
What was October's? No Mercy.
No mercy.
Like, yo, all these pay-per-view names. They're like, nah, we're PG now. We can't use these names.
That was Vince trying to get rid of the old and get in with the new. And
remember
all those times they had like they had bragging rights like right before Survivor Series. It was like, what are you doing?
Before we move on from that, I just want that. Yeah. That whole time period, I specifically remember there was bragging rights. I think before there was bragging rights. It was over the limit. I remember in like a 6-week stand, there was like 3 pay-per-views, and they were booked every 2 weeks. I specifically remember there was bragging rights. Then there was another pay-per-view in which John Cena was facing Wade Barrett to pretty much get rid of the Nexus or get in the Nexus. And then the very next pay-per-view and the next pay-per-view, I think, was Survivor Series. So it's like these 2-week builds. I'll never forget that shit. It was
rough. It was like there's too many shows.
Why are the pay-per-views every 2 weeks? And this is when dudes had to pay for them. There was no network.
Yeah. And that's when my parents were like, "Yeah, we're not paying for this shit."
There's too many. What are you doing?
It started happening when it was cool when Raw had one a month and then SmackDown would have the next month, which I liked. But then they started doing everything every month and running it back. My mom was like, "Yeah, we're not paying for this."
Can't do it. They had some of the best pay-per-view names, like Bad Blood with the big floating like blood drips coming down. Armageddon had a sick intro, like
Judgment Day.
My God, like all these like fucking chaos, like
dope
give
ass
me that. Don't
pay-per-view sets. Dope ass pay-per-view sets. They don't do that anymore.
Like
Vengeance, yep.
There was so many good ones, and now you got Fastlane. I'm like, Payback isn't terrible. Payback isn't terrible. I'm like Fastlane. Like, what does that mean? Like Fastlane, and we're just gonna blow through this pay-per-view to the next one? Like,
yeah. Look on the bright side. At least we don't have them fucking gimmick themed pay-per-views anymore.
Fatal 4-ways,
Hell in the Cell, WWE TLC, like all that crap. Like,
yeah, TLC was fine.
I will never forget the one TLC.
I didn't like any of them. No,
I will never forget the one TLC pay-per-view, and all they had was a tables match.
It's like, yeah, man, just to go.
That was the stairs match. Remember that? They did that shit.
Yeah, yes, I do. I remember the stairs. Big Show and fucking Eric Rowan. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Wait.
Tables, ladders, and chairs and stairs. Yeah. Yes, Eric Rowan was facing the Big Show and a stairs match.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not when he had the stupid bug thing, was it?
No. This is right after the Wyatt family.
Why do I not remember this?
That's how bad it was.
No, that's how bad it was. The only reason I have to look that up. The only reason why I remember it is because the month prior Sting came in. That's the only reason why I remember.
Okay, I was definitely watching during that when Sting was there because I was like,
tables, ladders, and chairs, and still. I think it was Mick Foley or not. Was he doing that? I can't remember, but that shit was just.
Oh man.
Terrible pay-per-view names. Bring back the awesome pay-per-view names. I do understand Fastlane being in Indiana, race cars, racing's big out there. I understand the gimmick for that. I understand that. But the old school names, please bring back the old school names. It was No Way Out. I think they got away from No Way Out because it's something like I think even Elimination Chamber they're not even supposed to do. There's something like in Germany, the chambers like it's like a negative interpretation. Yeah, like that's the reason why. But I think they still call it No Way Out. I'm not even sure. It's something with the name or something like that. But it's like, yeah, we missed the old pay-per-view names. We definitely missed the old pay-per-view names. Yep.
And Extreme Rules. I forgot about that one too.
Horror Show Extreme Rules.
that one was so stupid.
Oh yeah. They just bring back Halloween Havoc on the main roster, like I've been saying for years. Like, just bring back Halloween Havoc.
I wonder why they specifically
NXT is using that. So
I don't know why specifically only NXT gets the WCW.
Yeah, because they were fit awesome on the main roster. The Great American Bash during July.
I think that's by design to show. Okay, NXT, you get all the WCW names just to show that, like, yeah, they're WCW.
Or is that for like a Dusty type thing?
Or it could be that too because of Dusty and all of that.
That would make more sense.
I mean that's why War Games was a thing down there.
War Games.
But that's actually the one thing I'm glad that they brought up to the main roster because I want to see some of these guys in a War Games match.
In a badass match.
And apparently Survivor Series isn't getting War Games, so
I don't think so.
I think Survivor Series this year they're gonna do what they did in 2019 when they had NXT involved too. Now,
which actually was a good Survivor.
It was a good Survivor Series. I remember I went to the go home Raw in Boston for that Survivor Series, and it was just crazy. Literally every match that like a Raw and a Smackdown guy would fight, and here comes NXT interfering and such. And then I think that like they had a segment at the end of the night where all the NXT guys came in DX style. So yeah.
The prime. He was right there. Just put him in the title.
Yeah, kid. Now he has gray hair.
Actually, he doesn't have the gray hair anymore, but
he doesn't.
Wearing a wizard cape,
looking like a damn like a overweight old man or some shit.
What are they doing? What are they doing? What's his contract up? How long did he sign? Like, just come back.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, dude. All you had to do was just wait a couple of months. Vince was gonna be gone. Triple would have had you. All you had to do was just chill. Well, some of these guys that end up going there.
Why didn't he come back with his wife?
Just come back.
Some of these dudes, all you had to do was just wait. Triple H was gonna be in charge, and then he came back.
Oh man, he's one that they probably should have just put on Collision, like Dude, give him his time, man. I get he looks old and he's older, but like, why is he in a tag
Chris
team?
Jericho's wrestling. Jeff Jarrett's wrestling.
Don't even start on just Jeff Jarrett.
That's JEFF Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Yep. In 2023.
I will give it to him. He still looks in great shape.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only positive you can say about Jeff Jarrett. Yeah. He's still in phenomenal shape.
He's still in great shape.
I'm like, what is Jeff Jarrett doing? Still wrestling? Like, what's going on here?
Hey, like, he can swing a guitar. I guess that's all you got to do.
But we can move on to Raw side of things here, where we have the Judgment Day. I'm questioning if